Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with the Aimwin PN330 open reflex sight. This is a red dot, 7075 aluminum in that kind of mid-budget range, and something that I think if you're looking for either an entry-level, get started, or kind of mid-tier optic, this could do it for you. Something in the RMSC footprint, this could absolutely do it for you. Or maybe you're looking for an additional optic that you can add to in a second firearm or give to a friend or something like that. This could definitely do it for you. So here, the PN330, I have taken a look at in a prior video. Full detailed look at this. Gone over all of the general features. So if you'd like to see more about this, do me a favor, take a look at one of my prior videos, the link in the description box below, where you can find the detailed overview. But today what we're going to do, some work in the field to get this zeroed in. Now, I have found that some mid-tier or budget optics from time to time can be a little bit difficult to get them zeroed in. Takes a little bit longer than you'd like, wastes a little more ammo than you'd like. So today, this is going to be a fantastic test for this Aimwin PN330. So with that, let's get out to the range. All right, so zeroing at 7 yards. First shot was to the left. Brought it over and up just a touch. Brought it over and up just a touch. Clearly, my up adjustment was not nearly enough. Made a larger adjustment, bang, right on. And so that for me at 7 yards is zeroed enough. Gonna bring it now out to 15 yards and see how we do. Not surprising, but my shot is high. Given that I'm going out to further distance, that's to be expected. So I need to bring my shot down. So that would be clockwise. And I'm gonna go about 90 degrees. You'll notice there are no audible clicks. So it's hard to say exactly how far you're going. You just gotta use a little bit of judgment. That is a little deceiving with that arrow. So up on that arrow means basically counterclockwise brings your shot up. That's just something worth noting. So at this point, clockwise brings my shot down, or at least it should. Quick little group of 6. So you can see my first shot was left, and I kind of got one further down, but I aimed lower, aimed back at center, shot came back up. So that made sense, which told me that I was a little bit high. Now for this group, I brought it down, but you can see after 6 shots, I'm a little bit right. So I definitely want to make an adjustment here and try to bring that back left. So I feel like elevation is pretty darn good, but windage I now need to bring left. So I'm going to try to make a little bit of a correction and hopefully be done with my zeroing process by the end of my next 10 rounds. So now coming back left just a little bit means I am going to make this clockwise adjustment. So getting on the screw here, I'm not even going to go 90 degrees. I'm going like 45 degrees here. So just about 45 degrees. And hopefully that will do it. So give that a try. After review, I'm still slightly right. So I'm gonna go like another 45 degrees there. And hopefully that will do it. pulled the last one, and I think I pulled it low. I rushed. That's my own fault. Which I went just a little too far, so now I know that I am splitting the distance on that adjustment, and this should be rock solid. Bringing everything in by the end, I'm right in here. So it's not perfect, but after making some adjustments, you can see I was right, then I was left, and now I'm right in there, which at 15 yards, I mean, it's like my pinky, so I'm within my pinky. I'd say that's good enough for my needs, certainly good enough for my skill set, certainly good enough for what's going to be handheld here moving forward. So let's go down the number 4 and stand up and shoot this thing. So right now I have this on the single dot, and it's bright out, and I have the adjustment up, but I do feel like I can get it a little bit dimmer and still be good out here. So that's about as dim as I care to go right now, just minimizing the overall brightness as much as possible. Coming up now on that number 4. So not great, but not terrible. I mean, all of that is about 2 to 2.5 inches. You know, that's a 2-inch dot right there. So you can see that most of these are falling in that window. And then I really yanked one. So, I mean, I felt it. But that's not terrible. I mean, to me, that's certainly within a reasonable accuracy for my given skill set. And then certainly the optic is doing its job, so I have no problem with that. Now let's take it from that dot, the single point, and I'm going to go to the number 5, and we're going to turn it into that circle with the dot. So now long pressing on the left hand side, that is the plus arrow, and I'm now in the circle dot. Coming up on the number 5. Okay. Now a couple of impressions. First off, that circle dot absolutely allowing me to come back on target quicker. It does take away from the pinpoint accuracy, but it gets me back on target faster for the follow-up shots. You'll notice in the first few rounds I've been going very slow. Now at this point, that did allow me to follow up a little bit quicker. I think the results are pretty good here. Now I'm not able to make out 10 distinct shots. So is it possible that, you know, one of these is mine? Maybe, but somebody else has been here shooting 22 on this target already. And I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at minimum. So, you know, that's not going to be me. At least I don't think so. That would have been crazy. So is one of these me somehow? Maybe. I don't see any others on my target. So it's possible that all 10 are right in here, but I'd say 9 at minimum. That worked out very well and at a reasonable rate of fire. So now with the number 6, I'm going to try to turn it up even a little bit more. So I got a few shots close, but I was definitely pulling and down and to the left, which is fairly common for a right-hand shooter. That's not great. only one acceptable, maybe two. These aren't far off, and these are no bueno. But that's what happens when you speed up. So a lot more practice for me. And you'll see that's, maybe a 5-inch spread. So I'm looking at 5 inches at 15 yards, going at a rate of about 1 shot per second. Same idea here, long hold on that plus button on the left-hand side. Now I'm at the circle only. So you can see how this is, circle only. Should do about the same to get me up onto the target quickly, going for the number 7 here at 15 yards. Last one I pulled it like badly. Everything's low. And the other thing I can say is this does not give you any pinpoint accuracy whatsoever with just that circle. It's basically getting that target right into the middle of the circle, but the thing's floating around. You're doing your best you can to actually look directly at the target, so through the circle of the dot and right at the circle of the target, so completely target focused at that point, which is not a bad thing. But then at the same time, you don't have any pinpoint accuracy, so you're doing the best you can. So again, like before, I had some good ones in there, but everything pulling low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I'm dancing. That's 4.5 inches roughly. If that's 2, then that puts me at, another 2 out to there. So that's, 4.25 inches. That's not terrible. But obviously, I'm going for that sweet spot. And you'll notice again, everything I'm pulling down and away, down and left. So that's the tendency. It's not the optic. This is all the shooter. So that's on me, boys. All right, bringing rounds 8, 9, and 10. Close, 7 yards, as fast as I can. Circle only here. Kind of that close distance self-defense range, just for practice. Not bad. And all 10 within 2 inches. At 7 yards, going fairly quick. That's not bad. And that was easy. Easy to manage the recoil. The optic doing its job. Again, I'm pulling down. That's all on me. I don't think the optic is off. I mean, I'd be surprised. And of course, keeping in mind the fact that I've at this point zeroed at 15 yards, which means the closer distance, it would be down a little bit. So theoretically, I should be aiming higher on the target to get it to hit center mass. Well, there's no doubt I need to practice those double taps a little bit cleaner. I got a couple of them in there, something that I've, just kind of started working on. So as I learn and grow, that comes with the territory. But generally speaking, here you can see on the number 9 and on the number 10, not terrible. Again, I'm within, 2 to 4 inches in most cases. This one's a little bit better. That's maybe 3 inches. Everything's still low and left. Again, I would call that the shooter error, but everything on paper. I count 19 shots. I forget if that was already there. Maybe I'll review the film and see if that was already there. I might have lost one. So I think that's the 20th round in there somehow, but I got 20 of them in there. That was fun. So yeah, Aimwin definitely did its job. Now at this point, the rest is on me. And so, all right, guys, they have it, the field use with the Aimwin PN330. Now, of course, a few things to consider. First off, shooting 22. So this is my SIG P322. Not the heaviest round, not going to beat up on this thing, but I think that's going to be a sweet spot for optics like this, where you can put them on good quality plinkers. You can put this on a 9mm. I really don't see having a problem. It could probably take larger calibers for all I know. But in my testing with my review, zeroing in nicely. Overall, very simple. Took a little bit longer than I would like, but I'm not going to say it's at all the problem with the optic. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's the situation. A little bit of user error from time to time, but overall this definitely got dialed in nicely. Now the combination between the dot, the circle, and the circle dot working very well. This is pretty standard these days, and I would say something that we've kind of come to expect from optics, multiple reticle patterns, not just the dot, and it did work well. Now I am finding that for me, I have two preferences. One, dot only. Dot only, you pretty much can't go wrong. But the other thing that I like is if you're going to speed up, go a little bit quicker, and you just want to get back on target, more of that kind of self-defense or, quick action, the circle is awesome because all you need to do is land that circle back over your target and then just let it fire off again. No problem, working well. Of course, with the 22, it's not going to be the heaviest load, so this held zero nicely. I had absolutely no problems. 70-75 aluminum should be pretty tough. Now, I'm not one to beat up on my stuff. I'm not going to go racking this off a table. I'm not going to do drop tests. Quite frankly, I don't have the money to go dropping my firearms and abusing them that way. So I'm kind of the wrong guy to give you feedback on that right now. But I would say this should do a pretty good job being 70-75 aluminum. That's going to do a good job, a little bit tougher than your 60-61. So how is it to say? I can't really tell you. I would hope that this would be good and durable. But the other thing that I definitely like, the fact that this has the iron sights built in to the back. That's going to be awesome for your ability to potentially utilize this for co-witness. Bottom line is, with this particular firearm and many others, you do end up removing your rear sights. And when that's the case, you really do need some sort of a rear sight. And as you take a look, you'll notice that I will have the ability to sight down through the optic and use that rear notch as my rear sight post and then pick up on that front sight post to allow me the ability to use iron sights at the same time. So bottom line is a nice construction, overall easy to zero, and I would say a fairly reasonable offering for somebody looking for an entry-level to mid-level optic, somebody looking for an additional firearm, something to give maybe as a gift or for somebody else. This Aimwin PN330, definitely nice. And so I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Aimwin who did provide this for review. If you like what you see here, look in the description box below where you can find all of the relevant links for where you can find your own Aimwin products. Again, thank you guys for following along. If you like this content, check me out on my other Outer Limitless channels, from outdoor hiking, camping, backpacking, knives, flashlights, all that good stuff. Check out my Outer Limitless family of channels. And so with that, thank you guys for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.